Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to do a quick fix guide and it's going to be a quick fix guide for an Action Man diving mask. As you can see here I have the remains of an Action Man diving mask. It's missing the bit of plastic that should be in the front there that sort of forms the front of the goggles, and it's missing the elastic. So let's look at how we can replace both of those and get this back to being a usable diving mask. For replacing the little bit of plastic that goes on the front there, what you're going to need is just a bit of old packaging. Now I tend to keep bits of old plastic packaging that I think are useful, and this was plastic packaging. I can't even remember what it's for, but the plastic that's on here is fairly thick. You're talking maybe less than 1mm, but it's quite thick, sturdy plastic, and this is ideal for replacing the front glass of this little diving mask. So what you're going to need to do is to put the diving mask on an area of the plastic. I've got a marker pen here, and I'm going to just carefully mark around the inside of the mask to get a rough shape. You don't need to be particularly accurate on this, but enough that you can see there's the shape. Once you've done that, then get a pair of scissors. I'm just going to use my penknife here, and I'm going to carefully cut around what I've drawn there, but I'm not going to cut right up to the line. I only need to cut about 1mm away because there's a slight groove on the inside of this mask rubber, and if you leave it about 1mm then it should nicely slot inside that. So let's get this cut out and we can see if it fits. So here we have what I've cut out. I've just wiped off the marker pen with a little bit of lighter fluid. The marker pen does come off particularly easily, so you don't need to worry about it marking. We can now see if this is going to fit inside the little goggles. So we can just squeeze that in, bend the goggles around, and there we go. There's a replacement piece of sort of plastic to do the front of the goggles. Now we've got to replace the bits of elastic. For the elastic you're going to need this sort of flat stuff. It's about 4mm across. You can pick this up off eBay or go to a haberdashery shop and you should be able to pick it up quite easily. I bought a metre, this cost 99p. I'm sure you can probably get it cheaper, but it's fairly straightforward stuff to find. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop this through from the outside inwards on one side of this mask. Just put it through a little way, and then I've got a needle and thread here which has just got a black bit of cotton on it, and I'm going to carefully sew the elastic just outside the sort of joint part, and we'll sew this together. Just do a few stitches and then we can move on to doing the other side. So there we have the first side done. Now we can thread the other end of the elastic. This is a long bit of elastic, so it's a little bit awkward. I could trim this down I suppose, but no need to at the moment. I'm going to just push that through, if I can, through the tiny little hole. This is easier than it looks. There we go. And then I'm going to pull this back until we've only got a small amount of elastic, because really Action Man's head isn't that big and you want these to fit quite snugly, so we only need a small bit of elastic. Maybe something even just like that, and then we can do the same again, and we'll sew the little bit together, and then we can trim off the excess elastic, and these should then work quite nicely. So let's get that little bit sewn and we can see how these work. Now that we've got both bits sewn up, I can just carefully trim off the elastic, because you don't want too much excess of this hanging around, so you can just trim this off quite short like so, and then there's a little bit extra on the first side that I did, so we can trim that off as well. And there we have some fully repaired goggles. So let's try that on an Action Man and see how it looks. And here's the final result. As you can see, Action Man is now all ready to go diving again. So a pretty simple fix, takes no more than 5 minutes, and you've got a working pair of diving goggles again. So I hope that video has been of interest for you, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter and Facebook.